Oh, yeah. All right. We are live. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Okay, now, y'all know I come on here super excited, and you're like, hold on, Tiff. Let us get in the room. So, I'm going to give you guys a moment to get in here, and you already know what I am doing. I am sharing this video out. Let me just tell y'all now, okay? This conversation today is going to be fire. So if you're at work, listen, you need to take a little bit longer lunch break or wherever you normally tune in from. I need you to just seriously get ready because today is going to be amazing. I'm excited. And y'all, if you've been on here before, you know that this is me trying to calm my excitement. So as you come on in the room, I see that number moving. If you're new here, we're family and we like to introduce ourselves. So tell me your name and where you are watching from. And I'm going to share this video out. And I'm going to invite you guys to do the same. And we're going to get this party going in just a second. All right. We are sharing. We are sharing. If this is your very first time here, I would love for you to tell us where you found us. And if you are coming back, I want you to say, I'm back, so that I can show you some love. Also, listen, we love replay viewers here, okay? I know that the majority of you are like, Tiffany, I'm at work right now, but we'll see what happens when I get off. I'm going to put my feet up and watch this episode. And so if you happen to be watching us via replay, I want you to come on in and say hey, because we love our replay viewers. All right, so I'm back so that I can show you some love. Also, okay, listen, we love replay viewers here, okay? I know that the majority of you are like, Tiffany, all right, there we go. All right, minor technical difficulty, but we got it worked out. So, hey, guys, come on in, come on in. I'm super excited to welcome you to another episode of the Tiffany Bethia podcast. And if this is your first time here, listen, this is the place where we have conversation, kingdom conversation about being the bold, fearless CEO of your life and business. And I'm just super excited because we've been having some really good shows. If you were here last week, we featured Quinn Conyers. And we were talking about how to turn your conversations into cash, and what a conversation that was. How to really use the words that God has placed inside of you to speak up for your business. Hey, Michael Stegall, one of our faithfuls, always chiming in early. Michael, where are you tuning in from? Is this your lunch break time? Because you're one of the first ones to always say hey. And everybody else that's coming on in the room, come on, say hey, hey, hey. We've been having some really great episodes, guys. And we also wrapped a series not very long ago on Kingdom CEO principles. And if you have not had an opportunity to go back and watch those, okay, I'm telling you now, don't miss this episode though. Watch this one and then go back and watch those episodes. All right. So you guys know, normally I like to do my pop culture and the pulpit segment, but when I have guests, I kind of skip over that. So join me next week and we'll do our pop culture and the pulpit. Do we have stuff to talk about? Yes, we do. But I'm gonna get right into my guest today because we have so much to talk about. So guys, I don't even know how to do this intro because Pastor Tim Ross is the founder and lead pastor at Embassy City Church, but I have known him for so many years. I'm sure he's going to give me the number. So many years. And it's been such an honor to watch his journey. When I first met him, he was actually one of the youth pastors. And he's just progressed so much in his ministry since then. And that's why I'm inviting him to have this conversation today. And we're going to be talking a lot about really locating your life assignment, how to stop looking at what everybody else is doing to locate what God has for you and to own it. So let me bring him on into the studio here. All right. And here we go. There he is. Hey, big bro.
Hey, girl. I love you, sis. How you doing?
I love you. First of all, how long has it been? 19 or 20 years? I was trying to think about this because
it's about 19 years.
Yeah,
we're close to 20.
We're close to 20.
Yeah, we're super close to 20.
Yeah, which means
Yeah.
I was about 5 when I met you.
Ah,
Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with, right?
that's what we're
And
gonna
you were only
say.
about 10,
I think
right?
we're gonna say live.
Exactly. So, oh my goodness, welcome. First of all, thank you. I know you are so busy everywhere ministering and doing so many great things with your not only your church but your family. Hey Jude, if you're watching. So thank you so much for taking the time out to come have this dialogue with me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I love you, girl. Anything for you.
So what did I miss in the intro? Tell us more that you want our audience to know about you, your experience, and even your own journey.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Inglewood, California, 2 blocks from the Great Western Forum, where the Lake Show Lakers play. Magic and all those people. Rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah.
Was born and raised out there in LA. Parents pastored the church bivocationally for 15 years. Gave my life to Christ January 14th of 1996. Preached my first sermon February 25th of 1996. This past Sunday was actually my 24th anniversary preaching. So been doing that a while. Have been blessed to travel around the nation, around the world, preaching the gospel, but also just empowering and equipping people to find their purpose, understand what God has called them to do, and then to actually equip them to go out and do it and actually upset the world.
Yeah.
So that's my passion. That's my heart. That's what I get to do on a daily basis. And it's pretty fun stuff. I've been pastoring Embassy City Church. We planted it 4.5 years ago. When was that? It was the second weekend in September 2015 is when we planted the church.
Wow.
And so it's been 4.5 years. Church is going good, about 1,400 people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't know why I feel like you've been pastoring so much longer. Maybe because in my mind, you were a pastor before.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to go pastor prior to that at Potter's House and then at Gateway.
Yeah.
Campus pastor there and did apostolic ministry. So yeah, there's been a lot of stages before I took this position. And so, but all of those stages were important for me to step into right now. So yeah, it's been good.
Oh, this is good stuff. So let me not get ahead. So let me start at the basics. One of the questions I get so much that sometimes I'm still surprised it's the question, but I realize it's still a question. It's so many people are really genuinely trying to figure out what's my assignment. And I think that social media, while I love it, while I get paid from it, can almost make it harder because we see what everybody else is doing. So we're like, oh, maybe I'll try that. Let me be her. Let me be him.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you have to just turn down the noise and you're like, I still haven't figured it out. So what would you say to that person who's like, I don't even know what my purpose is. I don't know what my life assignment is.
Yeah. The first thing I ask people to do is to locate their passion. If you can locate your passion will inform your purpose. It informs you on what you might be good at, the things that you naturally are inclined to, the things that you have kind of a default position towards. Those things are the things that really start giving you the beginning clues of things that you might be good at. And then the next thing I would say is you need to be brave enough to explore those things. You need to give yourself permission to explore those things, because there might be like a raw talent there that just needs a little bit of cultivation, and a little bit of development.
Yeah.
You have to give yourself permission to lean into those things and explore them and find out what's there. Yeah.
Man, that's so good. I mean, there's so many things you touched on. And when you talk about that passion piece, I'm gonna ask this follow-up question because I'm one of those multi-passionate people. I tell my kingdom bosses all the time, I'm like, this is about the 7th business. So don't think like, oh, she's a full-time. I'm like, listen, before this, I was a makeup artist. I had an event planning business. I did hair. And it really took me a minute to figure out which of these passions is the thing. And I mean, I know you can relate. I mean, we were talking about this, but when I met you, you were rapping.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, I know you've had some multi-gifts. So how does that multi-gifted person like us, who's like,
Yeah.
okay, I hear you, but
Yeah.
I'm good at like 5 things?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, in my early 20s, I was rapping, I did stand-up comedy, and I was preaching.
Mhm.
Also did spoken word. I did mime ministry.
Mhm.
I did all the things. If it was in a creative space,
Right.
I put my foot in it. What I realize is there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can be good at.
Mhm.
There's very few things we can be great at.
Yes.
And where I started to really hone in my focus and attention was on the thing that I saw that if I developed it, I could become great.
Mm.
As amazing as most people are, there's only going to be 1 or 2 things maximum
Mhm.
that you will be great at.
Yeah.
I mean, we can take a poll across history. The things that we know people for that made historical marks
Yeah.
didn't do 3 or 4 or 5 things well.
Mhm.
They did 1, possibly 2 things at such an incredible level
Yeah.
that when they died, we remember them by the great thing that they did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's very, very important to me, especially for people that have a lot of gifts, a lot of talents. You have to choose that thing, or maybe that thing is already giving you the markers to let you know. And if you worked on this, this is where all of your greatness can be found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so I'm a sports fan, right?
Mhm.
So they're used to my sports analogies.
Yeah.
But I think about a few people. I think about Michael Jordan was saying that when he was speaking at Kobe's memorial, he was saying that, Kobe reached out to him and asked him, like, what were you doing at like 12? And he's like, man, I was trying to play baseball,
That's
like
right.
at some point,
Yeah,
he had to pick between the 2 sports.
that's right.
I know Steph had that same experience.
Yep.
Where he was playing basketball, and for some reason I can't remember the other sport.
Golf,
I think was it golf? Okay,
yeah, it might have been golf.
I couldn't remember, but I know he kind of had young too. Kind of came to that point where it was like, all right, I got to pick one and really focus on it. And honestly, even I think about Kobe and how in his post-retirement, you saw that he got an Oscar. He was kind of tapping into that creative side, but I think there was a reason he wasn't doing that. And he did try his hand at rapping in basketball, and it wasn't really. But we love him, right?
I remember that well. That's in the past.
But I'm sure he kind of figured out that, you know what?
Yeah. He figured it out with that one verse.
He did. He was like, I'm gonna just stick to ball.
Yeah.
And and so I love that you said that, because I've experienced that in my own journey. Like, look, and I get so many people who come to me and they're like, I got 3 businesses. I fry chicken, I speak, and I do nails. And I'm like, look, you're gonna have to pick one.
Well, here's the thing, or not, and just be decent at all 3 of those. This is the price you pay for not ascribing to greatness.
Yeah,
that you will be good and or mediocre at a bunch of things. You could have been great at 1 or 2 things.
right.
Yeah.
And isn't that, to me, the book of Tiffany here, verse 5. But really, I think that when we talk about like really representing God's glory, doesn't it require that greatness, and not just like being like okay, but really like bossing up and being amazing at what He's called us to be amazing at, so that people will see us and go, man, what is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look across the Old and New Testament, and we can see pivotal leaders who are known for a thing.
Yes.
Right. Moses, boil it down, he brought the people out.
Right.
Joshua, boil it down, he brought the people in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
David, he killed everybody. Right? He was a man of war. Right.
Right.
He established the kingdom of Israel. Solomon is known for his wisdom.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Jesus is known for what he did on the cross. Peter is known for his passion.
Yeah. Yep.
Paul is known for his missionary trips. I can boil it down to one thing.
Yeah.
You can say, well, they also did that. But what was the overall thing that made them great?
Yeah.
For Jesus, it was sacrifice. For Peter, it was passion. For Paul, it was his relentless pursuit to see the gospel expand out of Jerusalem.
Yeah, he was.
So when you have a singular focus, that's when you become great.
Yeah.
People that are great don't have hobbies.
Yeah, that's true.
Great people don't have hobbies.
That just freed me a little bit because I do not have hobbies.
I don't have no hobbies.
Yeah.
I used to play video games a lot until I became a lead pastor, and it took up too much of my time. Only thing I'm doing is trying to get better at communicating. That's all I do.
Yeah.
And now the other thing that I'm really, really good at that I think I can probably hone into greatness is stand-up comedy. So I started doing stand-up again because I have enough. I have enough indicators to prove that you're more than good at this. You already put humor in what you do in the pulpit,
right?
But you've always been able to take things that are in culture and bring a level of funny to it.
Yeah,
that produce a good, clean laugh for people.
Well, I've been laughing at you since as long as I've known you. So clearly, I have evidence of this.
Yes, you do.
You're hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's talk a little bit about a word that I feel like maybe is a curse word to a lot of saints, and it's process. We just live it. First of all, I'm like, they talk about millennials, and I sometimes I have an identity crisis because I'm like right near the top, and I'm like, I don't know that I'm like a real millennial, because I think real true millennials and the ones I tend to work with, it's like this microwave, like I'm gonna press 3 and I need it tomorrow. And I remember dial-up. I remember 40
for sure
to get online.
Yeah.
And let somebody pick up the phone.
Right.
Oh,
right. You got to do the whole thing again. Yeah. AOL wasn't having it.
So I'm like, I have recollection of those days. I don't. This isn't all I know. So let's talk about process. What stands out when you think about your process?
The first thing that stands out to me is that it was done in the dark. And what I mean by that is there was no Instagram, there was no YouTube, there was no camera phone, I had the ability to develop in the darkness of anonymity. My trial sermon wasn't on YouTube within 4 hours of me preaching it.
Yeah.
My first achievement wasn't, forever cataloged on Instagram from the moment I produced it. It was this beautiful ability to develop in the dark. And the example I give is back in the day, old school film had to be developed in a dark room. They had a red light that they would put in there. The image would go into some solution, and over a period of time, slowly that image would come up and materialize.
Yeah.
But if somebody turned all the lights on too fast, it would wash out the image and would never give you the picture that was originally taken. What I feel like has happened because we have so many people that haven't fallen in love with the process. The true character and integrity that's supposed to come up with the image of whoever they are has never been able to properly be developed.
Yeah.
And so what happens is the light of social media, the light of popularity, the light of an audience washes out the true image before it has time to develop. And that person winds up a very poor image of themselves and of Christ.
Yeah.
But if they're a non-believer, they're just not even a good picture of themselves. But if they're a believer, the image of Christ never comes to fruition.
Yeah.
And so the I'm so in love with process. Like I planted our church when I was 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now I hear people they're like, oh my God, 40 is too old. Nah, it's really not.
Right.
Like 40, I have a lot of the strength from my 20s, not all of it, but I still have a lot of the strength from my 20s,
Mm-hmm.
but I have much less of the stupidity
Right. That part.
from my 20s.
Right.
And only time can give you that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You might be like the dopest, most mature 21-year-old, but you 21.
Mm-hmm.
The Simpsons show is older than you.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I got cartoons that's been around longer than some of these people. So it's not a discredit to what you've already learned or the wisdom that you might have. It's just that if you don't fall in love with that process, you will skip steps. And in skipping those steps, you will injure yourself emotionally, relationally, spiritually, physically. So
Mm-hmm. And injure other people as well. It's like eating fruit that's not ripe yet.
Yeah.
And you're ingesting it. You're like, oh, that made me feel funny because it wasn't at completion.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Oh, yeah. I'm loving everything you're saying. Believe it or not, big bro, I'm slowly inching towards 40 myself.
Hey.
And I feel like, I'm making my way towards the door.
Yep.
And I so appreciate, first of all, like you said, the 20s to me are almost like an extension of teenage years. That's how I feel about it. Like, looking back, I was like, okay, that was like teenage times too. And then I think when I got into my 30s, it was the decade of realizing how much I don't really know. I don't know anything. And the older I get, I'm like, man, I thought I don't know anything. But embracing that so that I'm able to learn and be humble enough to, sit at people's feet and go, I thought I had this figured out, but I don't.
Right.
I really don't know.
Yeah.
And I think when we can do that, we can humble ourselves and be focused. And this is what I tell my kingdom bosses: be married to the journey and not the destination.
I wish you could tattoo that on everybody's leg. I'm serious. It's the truth.
Oh, but it took me so long, though, big bro. It took me so long because I'm like a type AA. So it's like, we got to get there. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it really took so much time. And I'm not even being deep when I say this, but time in the presence of God for him to just surrender that part of my heart and be like, chill out. Because that's how God talks to me.
Yeah. It's real facts. I remember one of my favorite videos that gives me this image is Billie Jean. And, when at the beginning of that video, Michael Jackson's walking down the street. And as he's walking down the street, every square of the sidewalk that he steps on lights up.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I think the process is like. You got to step on every square.
Yeah.
And as it lights up, it gives you something that you need to continue on the path. Yeah. What I think a lot of people do with their process is treat it like hopscotch. So they're skipping squares. And as they skip these squares, nothing lights up.
Yeah.
So they're down the road.
Yeah.
But they don't have the illumination. They never got the revelation of what they were supposed to get on the way to the destination.
Yes.
So they get there, and once they arrive there, they don't know what to do there because you were supposed to find that out on the way there.
On the way.
Sometimes we're so caught up in getting there that we forget what to learn on the way there.
So you can sustain and
when you are there. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I think that's part to me when I translate in the book of Joshua where he talks about good success. I always think that that's a part of it. That, okay, if there's a good success, there's a not so good success. And I think part of the good success is longevity. It's not just to get there.
No.
It's
Can you stay there? It's the difference between a highlight reel and something you can still do now.
Yeah.
You're a sports fan like me. LeBron James came into the league in 2003. He's in his 17th year.
Oh, yeah.
Wade came in at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo Anthony came in at the same time.
Yep. Yep.
But the way they look on the court,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, the way they ain't on it no more.
Right.
Carmelo's barely on it.
Don't even
Right?
get me started. Right.
So it's like it's what are you doing along the way that's going to give you longevity to stay there?
Yeah.
Because the majority of the people that came out of his class are no longer playing ball.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And if they're playing, they're definitely not playing at starter level,
right.
commanding the type of money he's commanding at his age and stage.
Yeah.
That's because of discipline, hard work, and understanding that what got you here will keep you here.
Yeah. Oof.
You don't switch up once you get there.
Exactly.
You keep doing what got you there.
Yeah. And you know what, as I'm listening to you talk, one of the things I think is the most poisonous toxins that causes us to not always have the patience for process is the comparison syndrome. I'm going to be honest. Mm-hmm. It's something that God had to deal with me because, you know, as a business person, of course, you got to kind of be in tune with like your competitors and know what's going on in your industry and stuff. But I remember it getting to a place where it was putting poisons in my heart, and I was seeing the results of other people, or what I think, and going like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not, or feeling like I need to rush and hurry up so I can look like that.
Yeah. So
I've dealt with it, you know. Yeah. What do you say to the people who struggle with that comparison piece?
It's a big piece, yo. It's
yeah.
a big piece, sissy. I feel like this was settled for me at a very young age. So my disclaimer is the answer I'm about to give comes from a place where I got this dealt with so early that I think the only way I've been able to enjoy my life is because I just don't compare myself to nobody.
Yeah.
I remember being this is before I even got saved. I was there was a guy named Eddie Love. Eddie Love was a dear friend of mine growing up. Eddie Love was just blessed with natural, God-given talents and abilities. He was the type of kid that when he was born, he had pre-pectoral muscles. He had a pre-six-pack. It was just like the six-pack's already there. His muscles just ain't popped into place.
Right.
So this kid in 9th grade was just Adonis. Just physically, if he put on a football helmet, he was going to rush for 700 yards.
Right.
If he played basketball, he was going to score 18 points. If he played baseball, he was going to, hit in, 24 RBIs. I mean, he was just a physical specimen. And I remember comparing myself to him and being like, man, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't have that. And I remember being jealous of him. And I remember how sick I was with that feeling. I didn't like the feeling of being jealous of somebody. And that jealousy didn't go away until I reconciled the fact that I was never going to be Eddie Love.
Yeah.
But that was only one half of the coin. The other side of that coin, he was never going to be Tim Ross.
Right. Yeah.
In his whole life, Edward Love was never going to be Tim Ross. Yeah. The moment I had that thought, I was freed. So when I got saved and moved to Texas and wound up at Bishop T.D. Jakes Church, I was never intimidated of him.
Yeah, yeah.
I was never afraid to preach in his pulpit because I was never going to be T.D. Jakes, and he was never going to be Tim Ross.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went to Gateway with Robert Morris, one of the most influential churches in the world, and I realized I was never going to be Robert Morris, but he was never going to be Tim Ross. And now I get to oversee great leaders like Michael Todd. And Michael Todd is doing amazing things. I will never be Michael Todd. But Michael Todd will never be Tim Ross.
Right. Yeah.
I get to authentically celebrate what God's doing in his life. And he can authentically celebrate what God's doing in mine.
Yeah.
The way to kill comparison is to stop looking at what you can't be like or what you can't do like them.
Mhm.
And turn that thing around and really start paying attention to what is it about me that makes me so unique that nobody can ever be me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way you break that.
It is. And you know what's funny? Like when I, because I have a spiritual approach to business, when I talk about branding with them, what I say is that, you know, we have this treasure in our earthen vessel. And I say, we got to go on a treasure hunt because we got to.
Yes.
You
so
like
good. So good, bro. I love it.
Listen, I'm like, we have to, because my thing to them is we're not going to create your brand. We're going to discover.
So good.
It was breathed. It's already in there.
Yeah,
You're trying to pick something up. And when
Wow.
he breathed the breath into you, it's in there.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to go on a treasure hunt and figure out what is that thing that's in me.
Yeah.
Call it your brand identity, like your DNA, because there's something in there nobody else has. And I think you can see that. And you're like, oh,
yeah.
Nobody else got this?
Yeah.
No. Bet. I'm good.
Yeah. It's so good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The treasure hunt is dope, yo. Like that's the story of my life.
Yeah.
I have a high school diploma. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And half a semester of Bible college. Don't ask me how I achieved or did not achieve that. But I pulled that off. Half a semester. Yeah. What I've been able to do is take the gifting that God has given me and steward it in such a way that if God put one talent in my hand, and that talent was to communicate with my words. Yeah. And what I've done over the last 24 years is hone it to such a place that maybe I haven't flipped it into 5 or 10 other talents, but I've stewarded it in such a place that it's gained interest.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
Well, that's what Jesus in the parable told the man that buried the talent. Exactly. Was if you knew that I was a hard man, you should have at least put my money in a place where it could gain interest.
Right. Yeah.
And so maybe you don't have 2 talents in your hand. Maybe you only have 1. Yeah. At least steward it to the point where it will gain interest. You might not flip it into a multi-million-dollar enterprise.
Right.
But you can flip it to a spot where it at least gains interest.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let that settle.
Yeah.
Look, we can have this conversation forever and ever, but I just want to wrap up and say thank you so much again for taking the time.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
And I already know I'm gonna have to have you back. Michael,
I want to come back. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
So look, as we wrap up, tell us where we can find you, where we can follow you. Now, I know social media is not your favorite.
I'm Ghost Protocol on social media.
Right.
You can find me personally. I don't have any personal accounts. We do have Embassy Irving for all of our social handles. We're updating those now. And so if you go there right now, to be honest, it'll look like really static and dull, but over the next month or so, that'll be up. Where I can mainly be found is podcast and our YouTube channel, Embassy City Church. And so if you want to hear some great content, you want to be motivated, inspired, you want to laugh a little bit, challenged, and grow in God's word, then I would invite you to go to our podcast, go to our YouTube channel, and look us up.